Okay, so the most important thing I'm going to teach you about your core and pelvic floor is understanding your own body and being your own coach, and that really relies on you doing these series of tests to see how your own core is functioning, and then taking the results and the feedback from that test, and then just being really observant in your normal everyday life as to how you're performing different tasks, and especially when you're in the gym and you're performing core work. So the first test we're going to do is we're going to see how well your ab muscles are working with you and not against you, and just any kind of tendencies that you may have in your own body. So the test is called the candle test. And so what we're going to do is, I will use my own core as an example while we're doing this. We're going to go through it, and then we're going to walk through what the optimal core should be doing, and what I see in most people, including myself, when we're in rehab. So for the candle test, I want you to sit, if you're able to sit on your ankles like so, nice and tall, do. If you need to put a something underneath you, you can do that. You can also just sit up really tall. I just want you to sit up tall, up on a stacked position, so you're not like down here, okay? And then from here, I'm gonna get you to imagine you have a birthday cake in front of you. This birthday cake has 80 candles on it, so it has a lot of candles. So what I want you to do is you're gonna take a nice big inhale, and then you're gonna blow the same way you blow a candle, so nothing forced. All of those candles for your full exhale, and we're going to do that 3 times. So I'm going to take a big inhale, exhale, all those candles, all the way to the very end of your breath. So I want you to do that. I want you to have an observation of what's happening in your core when you do that. So look in a mirror, you can record it, record yourself and look back. You can send it to me for my opinion, but observing what the core does in this moment is really important. Okay, now we're going to go through what we usually typically see, and then what I've had to work on myself, and what 80 to 90% of women do, and how we're going to reverse it. So with my own core, you will see that and this is what I see in most people, and this is what I used to do before I corrected it, is as you go to blow out the candles, okay, and again, inhale. Okay, so if you can see, I have really dominant upper oblique muscles, so up here. This is from years of bodybuilding and having visible abs as a fitness influencer, and so I have really grippy abs up here. These guys like to take over, and they're very dominant muscles. What you will see then from the side is, as I do that movement, these guys are going to push air down into my lower abdomen. So we're going to inhale, blow out the candles, okay, and you will see it all push out here. So that means my upper abdominals, my upper obliques are taking over. Your lower transverse abdominis muscles are the ones that we want to activate, and they are very passive. They will gladly stay asleep and will gladly let those obliques and ORAs, their six-pack muscles, take over. This really comes into play when people have had multiple C-sections, so they've got a lot of numbing and a lot of scarring down there. They've had multiple pregnancies, or I see young girls walking around the gym as well, very abdominant, and you can see like what looks like bloating, but is actually very dormant transverse abdominis muscles. And then we're told to do sit-ups and crunches and all these very aesthetic ab moves, and these guys stay asleep. So the number one complaint I really have from most women coming in is that they have a lower belly pooch, and it doesn't matter what they do in terms of diet, sit-ups and core work, they can't get rid of it. And this is the exact reason for this. We are not breathing the way we are supposed to, and our core is not reflexive of this. What we actually want to do is exhale from the bottom up. So we want the transverse abdominis, these lower deep core muscles. We want these guys to go first. So actually what we want to do here is we want the lower guys to activate first. So you want to see these come up from the bottom. So when we go inhale, we go here first, we are exhaling down into our pelvic floor. Remember, our core is a canister, and all of that is going down here. If we exhale from the bottom up, we are expelling that air, we are awakening those transverse abdominis muscles, and we're pulling in and creating that beautiful corset that allows our body to deal with intra-abdominal pressure, and especially allows our core to be functional in heavy lifts. So what we want to practice is bringing those TVAs together. So again, you'll see it here. Inhale, exhale, and for somebody like me who is a serial ab gripper, I have to back off at the end of my exhale by about 10%. So on the end of my exhale, I literally finish there. There's no need. If I start to bring in and get rid of all of my air, then I'm going to go back into that ab grippy position. So there's a few cues that you can do. You want to get as tactile as possible. That means you want to be touching, feeling, slapping it, pulling at it. Our brain needs biofeedback from this dormant area. And people who've had C-sections, you need to work even harder, because a lot of the time this is the information before we had it, and have a lot of nerve damage from knot scar mobilization techniques and stuff like that. So what I want you can visualize is that you have this rubber band on both of your sticky out bones, and when you exhale, you want to try and pull your stomach away from that band. So inhale, the band should not move. Exhale, so it's a millimeter, but I am getting some movement of my lower abs. Away from that band, and this takes a lot of time and practice. I want you sitting in your car, so at traffic lights, inhale, use your fingers, pull away from those fingers, and remember, like I said in the other videos, it is from the center of your body up on that exhale.